Hi, greeting to you all. In today's session, I'll be presenting Navigating Digital Business and Regulatory Challenges in Malaysian Food and Beverages SMEs. The mediating role of attitude in customers' behavior intentions towards digital technology adoption. I am Gurpreet Kaur, the BA candidate with School of Postgraduate Studies, King's University College, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. My supervisor is Associate Professor Dr. Rashad Zazdani Fard, the Dean of Postgraduate Studies. Digital transformation has become a strategic priority for businesses across the globe. However, investing in digital technologies alone does not necessarily ensure that customers will adopt or continue using them. This presentation explores how business and regulatory challenges influence customers' intentions to adopt digital technologies, with particular emphasis on the mediating role of customers' attitude. The rapid advancement of digital technologies has fundamentally transformed the way businesses operate and engage with customers. Within the Malaysian food and beverages industry, SMEs are increasingly implementing digital solutions such as QR code menus, mobile ordering applications, cashless payment systems, online delivery platforms, customer relationship management systems, artificial intelligence, and data analytics. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated this transformation, making digital interaction a necessity rather than an option. Recognizing this shift, the Malaysian government introduced several initiatives, including the My Digital Blueprint, the SME Digitalization Grant, and Industry Forward, all of which aim to encourage SMEs to embrace digital transformation. Despite these initiatives, adoption remains inconsistent. Many SMEs continue to struggle with financial constraints, limited technological expertise, inadequate infrastructure, cybersecurity concerns, and uncertainty surrounding digital regulations. Equally important is the customer perspective. Digital transformation cannot be considered successful simply because businesses invest in technology. Success depends on whether customers perceive these technologies as useful, trustworthy, convenient, and worth adopting. Therefore, understanding customer behavior intention has become increasingly important in ensuring successful digital transformation. Although Malaysian SMEs continue investing in digital technologies, customer adoption remains inconsistent. This inconsistency suggests that technology alone does not determine adoption. Instead, businesses face two major categories of challenges. The first is digital business challenges. These include high implementation costs, technological complexity, limited digital capabilities, integration difficulties, inadequate digital infrastructure, and cybersecurity risks. The second is regulatory challenges. Businesses must comply with legislation relating to personal data protection, consumer rights, digital payment systems, cybersecurity governance, and privacy regulations. These challenges create uncertainty for both businesses and customers. When customers perceive digital technologies as complicated, risky, or insecure, they become less willing to adopt them. Consequently, customer confidence decreases, technology acceptance slows, and digital transformation initiatives fail to achieve their intended outcomes. This demonstrates that customer perception is a critical factor influencing digital adoption. Technology adoption has been widely studied over the past 3 decades. However, several important research gaps remain. First, previous studies have focused primarily on technological characteristics such as perceived usefulness and ease of use, while giving comparatively less attention to broader business challenges. Second, much of the existing research examines organizational readiness rather than customer behavior. Third, Many studies investigate direct relationships without considering the mediating role of attitude. Finally, very few studies specifically focus on Malaysian food and beverages SMEs while simultaneously integrating digital business challenges and regulatory challenges within a single conceptual framework. Therefore, this study proposes a more holistical model that examines how these challenges influence behavioral intention through customer attitude. Based on these research gaps, this study has four objectives. The first objective is to examine the influence of digital business challenges on customers' attitudes towards digital technology adoption. The second is to determine how regulatory challenges influence customer attitudes. The third objective is to investigate whether customers' attitudes influence their behavioral intentions to adopt digital technologies. Finally, the fourth objective is to propose that customers' attitude mediates the relationship between both digital business challenges and the regulatory challenges and customers' behavioral intention. Together, these objectives contribute to the development of an integrated conceptual framework that can later be tested empirically. To explain these relationships, this study integrates two well-established behavioral theories. The first is the Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM, developed by Davis in 1989. According to TAM, two important perceptions influence technology adoption. These are perceived usefulness, referring to whether users believe technology improves their performance, and perceived ease of use, referring to how effortless the technology appears to use. These perceptions influence customers' attitudes, which subsequently shape behavioral intention. However, technology adoption is not determined solely by perceptions of usefulness. Social and behavioral factors also influence decision making. Therefore, this study also adopts the theory of planned behavior proposed by Ezen in 1991. TPB explains that behavioral intention is influenced by three factors: attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control. By integrating TAM and TPB, this study provides a more comprehensive explanation of customers' intentions to adopt digital technologies. This slide presents the proposed conceptual framework. The model contains two independent variables. The first is digital business challenges. The second is regulatory challenges. Rather than assuming these variables directly influence behavioral intention, this study proposes that they first shape customers' attitudes. Attitude therefore functions as the psychological mechanism through which customers interpret business and regulatory conditions before deciding whether to adopt digital technologies. Customers with positive attitudes are expected to demonstrate stronger behavioral intentions toward digital technology adoption. Consequently, attitude is proposed as the mediating variable linking both independent variables with behavioral intention. This mediation perspective represents one of the key contributions of this conceptual paper. Based on the proposed conceptual framework, four hypotheses are developed. The first hypothesis proposes that digital business challenges significantly influence customer attitudes. The second suggests that regulatory challenges significantly influence customer attitude. The third proposes that the customer attitude significantly influence behavioral intention towards digital technology adoption. Finally, the fourth hypothesis proposes that customer attitudes mediates the relationship between digital business challenges, regulatory challenges, and behavioral intention. These hypotheses provide a foundation for future empirical testing using quantitative research methods. This study contributes in three important ways. From a theoretical perspective, it integrates TAM and TPB within a single customer-centered framework. Methodologically, it positions attitude as a mediating construct rather than simply an independent predictor. Practically, the findings may assist SMEs in designing customer-centered digital strategies rather than focusing exclusively on technology investment. For policymakers, the study suggests that digital transformation initiatives should emphasize customer trust, digital literacy, perceived usefulness, and regulatory clarity alongside financial incentives. Ultimately, the successful digital transformation requires both technological capability and customer acceptance. To conclude, digital transformation is no longer optional for Malaysian food and beverages SMEs. However, successful adoption depends not only on technological investment but also on how customers perceive and respond to digital technologies. This conceptual study proposes that customer attitude acts as the critical link between digital business challenges, regulatory challenges, and behavioral intention. By integrating the technology acceptance model with the theory of planned behavior, this framework provides a stronger theoretical explanation of customer digital adoption within Malaysian SMEs. Future empirical research will be conducted to validate the proposed framework and examine the strength of these relationships. Thank you very much for your attention.